A budget that you are borrowing to finance, I don't think can produce any good thing.
Borrowing again is to enrich most of themselves.
My name is Tilokwe Fadare. On October 7, President Muhammadu Buhari was at the National Assembly to present the 2022 budget. And in that budget, over 5 trillion naira will be borrowed to finance the 2022 budget. We are here on the streets of Abuja to find out from Nigerians what they think about borrowing over 5 trillion naira to finance the 2022 budget.
Based on what the Mr. President presented to the joint National Assembly yesterday, it's funny. The question is, do we really need to borrow to do all of this? The answer is capital no. So the point is, we are under a government that is not sincere to the way they run things.
The federal government's approach to financing Nigeria's budgets is putting this country into huge debts in the future. I must confess, we have not looked inwards enough as a country to tap from the resources we have, especially in the area of taxation. You see, where there are a lot of leakages in tax collection, we are bound to have this kind of deficit. Countries like the UK don't have oil. They don't have any of this. They depend on taxation to fund their budget, and they don't do budget deficits. So we should learn from other climes. It's putting Nigeria and the future generation into huge debts that it may be difficult for even our children to be able to come out of.
There's nothing one can do. But the point is that the borrowing, if used and plowed into the wrong direction of infrastructure development, that will bring back the money, is a better thing. But if the borrowing is for non-essentials, especially on recurrent issues, then that's not good for the country. Because we must come to a point in this country where we are a producing and exporting country than a consuming nation.
A budget that you are borrowing to finance, I don't think can produce any good thing. Because many years ago, I could remember, Nigerians are funding their budget by themselves. That is to tell you the kind of government that we have today. In a situation where your import is more than your exports, you can't expect to have a good economy. So we need to go back to manufacturing. If we cannot export, then we don't expect the naira to have value.
It's really a government that have no plan. If you watch out throughout Nigeria, their borrowing capacity is always based on projects. And when you find out how many projects they have borrowed for, how many have they completed? Most of the projects you find out is about the previous government project that they completed. Those projects were being financed before now. And borrowing again is to enrich most of themselves. The government is just wasting money.
When you talk about revenue generation in Nigeria, we are not generating much. Adding being, we are taxing from all these empty houses in our towns here. We will generate much revenue than going to borrow. The borrowing is on the highest order. So I want the federal government to think outside the box, or to put on their thinking cap. Let people think for us. How do we generate revenue? How can you be occupying space with your how do you put it now? All these properties everywhere, and they are not paying tax. And there are some companies now that are not paying. Some are even trying to go and do offshore out of the country to make sure they evade tax. Tax is the problem of this revenue generation, is the problem of our country. If we are generating a lot and think within, we don't need to borrow. And this borrowing now will be a problem tomorrow for us.